G'day there, podcaster. How's that? New intro for a guest podcast. Ooh, pretty cool. Yeah. And what a great way to debut the new intro as well, with an awesome chat with none other than Mr. Merrick Watts.
Our next guest is a connoisseur of comedy, but did you know he's also a connoisseur of wine? Now he's combining both for his fringe show, An Idiot's Guide to Wine, where you'll get a belly full of laughs and a belly full of drinks. Please welcome Merrick Watts.
Merrick, what a pleasure. Good morning, mate.
Hey. Oh, great to be on the show, boys. How you doing?
Oh, we're well, mate. We're well. Now, we do know this. You're a big wine guy, huh?
Yeah, big wine guy, slash some people refer to us as alcoholics, but no, big wine guy sounds heaps better.
But you don't really strike me as a wine snob, though.
No.
Like, you don't really seem like you'd be using those big sort of fancy terms.
Yeah, like earthy textures and stuff.
Oh, no, I do that. I use words like malolactic fermentation. I use words like disgorgement. You know, really, there's a lot of words in the wine world that sound more filthy than they really are, like disgorgement. Like, that just sounds wrong. But it's actually make wine transfer from one place to another.
Right. You know what? When I saw the title of the show, An Idiot's Guide to Wine, I thought, you know what? This would be a perfect show for Liam to go and see, because Liam, tell Merrick that time.
I don't.
Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did with the wine.
It's just going to annoy him.
No, he will like it.
This is a safe space that is no longer safe.
Okay. Well, Merrick bought a home a couple of years ago. Me and my partner bought our first house, and like, this guy's like investment property. So he's probably a pretty wealthy guy. He's just, lobbing off some property, and to thank us for buying the home, he gave us 2 bottles of wine, and the bottles look really fancy. And when we opened them, though, they had all this like crusty shit in it. And so I poured that one down the drain, and then I thought, he's just giving us like this off wine. And so I opened another one, and it was even crustier. And I was like, what is all this sand? And poured that down the drain. I poured 2 Henschke Hill of Graces down the drain.
I'm having an internal explosion at the moment. Internal explosion. I'm blowing up. I want to swear so badly, but I know I can't. But there is a word for people like you, and it's a 2-part word, and the second part of that word is wit. Oh, my God. I cannot believe you did that. That's a bit of a trick, though. Look, I understand how you could make that mistake if you were a total moron. But, I mean, generally you would see the label Hill of Grace, know that Henschke is one of the finest winemakers on the planet, and you probably handle it a little more delicately. But, good on you. You're learning.
Yeah,
and that's why you're back on cask wine now. So,
Baby steps, Merrick, baby steps. But, I've told that story on the radio before, and it's like the main thing that people
reference.
You're that idiot that did that?
Yeah.
No, that is me. Hey, look, while we've got you, Merrick, there's a little game we've been playing with every fringe comedian who's been coming through. It's called Topic Tombola. We got a tombola here. It's a big wheel, lots of balls in it. Give it a spin, and a topic comes out. And yours this morning is seagulls. So, I mean, that's a bit of a weird one. But if you've got any story or anything comes to mind when you hear the word seagulls,
seagulls,
yeah,
seagulls,
yeah.
Oh, I do have a story about seagulls.
Okay,
I haven't told the story in like maybe almost 20 years, but, and it's in Adelaide. Okay. So many years ago, Rosso and I were on tour. This would have been like 1999, 98, 99. We were on tour in Adelaide for the Fringe Festival. Because I was really familiar with Adelaide, I said to Rosso, let's go to Magic Mountain. And we're hanging out in Glenelg. We've had some lunch there and stuff like that. Anyway, after a big day at Magic Mountain, Rosso's decided to have a bit of a lie down on the sand. And he goes, all right, I'm just going to chill out for a little bit. I've gone over to the fish and chip shop, and I bought some fish and chips because I love fish and chips. Anyway, Rosso I saw laying on the sand. I went up, I got about a good fistful of chips, and I threw them on him to attract the seagulls, and they nearly killed him. It was like a scene from the movie The Birds. And he absolutely freaked out because he was covered in chips. The seagulls were attacking en masse. and that's how he died.
That was the end of Merrick and Rosso, as we know it.
That was it. It was a handful of chips and a bunch of seagulls can end one of the most dynamic duos the world has ever seen.
Look, I reckon that's a pretty good seagull
Bloody
story.
oath.
Merrick Watts. You can grab your tickets to see his show, An Idiot's Guide to Wine, at adelaidefringe.com.au. Thanks for joining us this morning, Merrick.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for reminding me of that story too.
That's our chat with Merrick of Merrick and Rosso fame. They worked at Nova and Triple J. It's a similar path that we followed. Look, they sort of, you heard there that he nearly killed him with chips, but they don't do stuff together anymore.
Yep.
I think we'll always do things together.
Potentially. Any relation to Jack Watts, do you reckon?
The footy player. Wouldn't
Yeah,
have
played
thought
for
so.
Melbourne Demons and played a little bit for Port Adelaide.
Wouldn't have thought so, yeah. No. Heard a story about Jack Watts this week, didn't we?
Did you?
Well, you did as well.
Oh, that's right. I remember that story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll leave that there and leave you to wonder and go, ooh, I wonder what that Jack Watts story is. We're not going to tell you.
Bye.
Ben and Liam is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.